Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Sitting here with Eric Burdon of the Animals and War. Legendary guy. Agreed to talk to us a little bit. It's fun. John brought up during the commercial some of these places in New York that you have history with in the Village that are still there. Cafe Wa and stuff like that is still going. You ever go back and just take a look at those places and believe how much time has gone by?
I haven't done a New York tour recently,
Right.
But I do look around the world and see that clubs are be going the way of the dinosaurs.
Definitely.
There are very few clubs, and there's one or two in Germany that are my favorite places to play.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What part of Germany? Like Berlin or
Hamburg.
Hamburg? Okay.
Hamburg, Berlin. There are great fans there, and there's great clubs there, and it's hot and sweaty, and filthy and dirty and smoky. Eat it up.
Why are they great, the fans in Germany? Because I've heard that in regard to other things too, not just the music.
I just
but
saw
sports.
I just saw Springsteen in Paris, and I'm a Jersey guy, and I've seen him in Jersey like 30 times. I saw him in Paris last summer, and I couldn't believe it. 23-year-old Parisian kids knew every word to Born to Run. They didn't go to the bathroom. They waited. He played 4 hours. It was nuts.
Yeah.
Maybe you're more passion. You think, right?
They follow music like we follow football.
Okay, right.
If there's a stadium in town and there's a game, they go.
Right.
And they go wild and they eat it up. They love it.
Speaking about Bruce is a huge fan of yours. He said, and I know you've been on stage with him before. We got to get out of this place. He says, it's every song he's ever written. And it's true. As a Springsteen fan, every song is about, he had a similar issue with you with his hometown. He's like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And, Thunder Road, it's a town full of losers. I'm pulling out of here to win. Born to Run. We got to get out of here before it's a suicide rap. I got to go. It's that same rebellious thing. And, what's your contact with him? He's obviously made you know that that's his biggest influence, right?
Well, he calls me from time to time.
Right.
Like I was up in northern Finland. Where are you? I'm in Europe. Oh, why don't you come and see us in Cardiff, Wales tonight? Get on stage and sing. Yeah, okay, I'll try and make it, And so when the boss calls, you got to be there. You know what I mean? But he's, my thing about Springsteen is it's great to see a real working class guy as the hero again, not a wannabe.
No, absolutely.
Or a pretend guy.
No, he's the real deal.
He's the real deal.
Yeah. What drugs in your life back then? I mean,
Can't get any.
Did drugs play a big part of your life in the 60s? Did you get involved with all that and maybe get lost to it for a while? Or was it ever a problem for you? Did you use it to be creative?
Well, Newcastle Brown Ale is that a drug?
No, just drinking. I'm not gonna put that in that category. No.
Yeah, I did my time in LSD land, Yeah, sure, I got lost, but I keep a little string behind me, so I know I can get home.
A lot of people didn't, right?
A lot of people didn't. A lot of people should have been messing around with that stuff.
Yeah, when you talk about, I saw on the album it was written that some people you remember in the past they're gone at 27, forever 27, gone.
Yeah.
And that seemed to be the age, wasn't it? That's when Hendrix went and Joplin went, Brian Jones. They were all 27 years old. It's weird.
So many.
Yeah.
Not
Kurt
just
Cobain's
not just musicians.
Yeah.
There's it goes on and on and on. If you research it, it's amazing. I have a lot of theories about why it is. It's you're standing at the precipice of adulthood,
Right.
and you're leaving that freedom of teenage years behind, and it's a pretty scary thing when you're back there. Then and,
Definitely.
And there's also astrological reasons. It's the return of Saturn, which makes its run around the world every 30 years.
Right.
It has an effect on us, But I wrote a song about it and recorded it. It's on my new album, and you can check it out.
Yeah, I had a good time reading about that. I can't wait to check it out. Is that something you're reflective on at this age? Like you made it, you were there with all the craziness in the epicenter of it, and you made it through, and other people didn't. Do you have like survivor's guilt a little bit? Or you feel weird about that at all?
When I examined it, I realized that I made it through because I was taking care of somebody else.
Oh, okay.
And that was Jimi Hendrix.
Really?
Yeah.
You were taking care of Hendrix.
I was trying to get across to him what was going to happen to him if he stayed with the same management, because he had the same management as I did, and
Yeah, could you talk
And were
about
they-
that?
yeah,
How did
definitely.
that come about with Jimi?
Through the animals. Through the animals.
He was a fan of the animals.
No, he was a starving, wannabe
Right.
in New York.
Right.
But a girlfriend of ours, mutual girlfriend of ours, Linda Keith, she's a beautiful lady, and she came to Chaz and said, "Hey, you got to see this guy, Jimi Hendrix, and maybe you'll want to manage him." And Chaz went to see him and went,
Chaz,
"Yeah,
who
right."
was the bassist at the time.
Yeah, he was my bass player. And, I soldiered on with the animals, and he became Jimmy's manager, along with the bad guy who had really tried to put me in a hole and eventually put Jimmy to bed, too.
In what way do you think he was a bad guy? Was he an enabler? Or did you think drugs was a good thing for his image? Did he encourage the drugs?
No, he
Why
wouldn't-
was he a bad guy? Stealing
wouldn't-
money?
He wouldn't touch the drugs.
Right.
He was straight. He had learnt business management in the British Army intelligence when we were at war with the new country Israel. He was a gun carrying
Okay.
sergeant in British intelligence.
Dangerous guy.
Dangerous guy.
Yeah. And
But
so
I
he-
was fascinated.
right, of course.
I'll
That's
admit.
fascinating. Yeah, it is.
Was a fascinating guy to me. And when I got under his clutches, it was too late. So and he just mismanaged the animals. He brought us to America and ruined us.
Right.
And I was trying to tell Jimmy, hey, the same thing's going to happen to you if you don't watch out.
And he was too gone to take that advice.
By that time, he was like, God.
Right.
You couldn't tell him anything.
You couldn't tell him anything. It was a combination of
It
that.
happened so quick with
Yeah.
Jimmy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because Chaz took him on, started managing him in what year? Like 66?
66, 67. Yeah,
And then,
the animals
and the
broke him 66.
67
Yeah.
Monterey Pop Festival
Yeah.
came back with
Yeah.
the experience
Yeah.
from London, Noel Redding and Mitch Mitchell,
Yeah.
and just exploded onto the scene.
Yeah.
And it just all of a sudden he went from, backup guitarist and session guitarist to the biggest
To
thing.
Jimi Hendrix, yeah.
The Jimi Hendrix
And
experience.
that was a great experience to watch him, coming home
Sure.
to his home gig and really laying it down and blowing people's minds.
It's a real live version of Johnny Be Good. People have said,
Exactly.
like that's what Chuck Berry was. Right? What now? And you really think that taking care of him saved you in some way?
I think so.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty strong stuff, man. That's like
Well, I wasn't there all the time. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't
No,
a
okay,
nursemaid, I was in America for 2 years, and I hadn't seen him for like a 2-year period. But when we got back together, I was jamming in a jazz club in London, Ronnie Scott's club, with War.
right.
And Jimmy knew I was in town, and he knew I was with a black band of brothers. And he came down to the club and, hey, can I jam with you guys? And he's like, I'm like, are you sure? I mean, he was in a terrible state. You could smell it,
Right.
And I sent him
Really?
away. I said, go away. You straighten up and come back with your favorite guitar, and and we'll jam. And he did. And the night after that, he was gone.
The next night he died in London.
Yeah, I think it was 24 hours later.
Do you have any guilt over that? You shouldn't, but did you have it back then?
I was just looking for my 12-gauge shotgun to go after the Mike Jeffries. It was a good job that my road manager took the weapon and hid it someplace. Otherwise, I'd have been in jail. I would have
So
been
you were
talking
going to
to
you were
guys
going to
in
get
prison.
you were going to get revenge for it. You were.
I was wired. I was fit to.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
really
that's
affected me.
Well, I mean, there's a reason you stuck around, man, and I'm glad you're still here. But that's a life not many people can talk about. That's fascinating stuff.
Unbelievable
If
stuff.
Hendrix had ever cleaned up, do you think he would have gone on to stuff we never even could imagine, right? Work-wise,
yeah.
he just got
Yeah.
robbed of his work,
Yeah, I mean, the top jazzmen in the world were all waiting for him to come down off of that cloud.
Yeah.
And like John McLaughlin and people like that, I think John McLaughlin said the truest thing about Jimmy's passing than anybody else. He said the business killed him.
Right.
Yeah.
a business kid.
Well, it sounds like you agree with that. Absolutely, full story. That's fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Eric Burdon got to go and tune up a little bit here, but we appreciate him talking with us. He's got a new album out. I should mention right here. It's called "Till Your River Runs Dry." Eric Burdon, and that's a great cover. You can check that out now. It's out now.
Yeah.
And he'll do some cuts from that and some classic cuts when we come back. So join us on the Artie Lange Show. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Back after this.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.